As I said, so right around 3 o'clock, I'll tweet it out, but I think it's going to be right around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. I will be doing the episode 1 spoiler cast for Secret Invasion. So all that out of the way. So let's just jump right in. So I want the first story here is it's cool. And, we always talk about film and how actors are cast or actresses are cast in roles. You go, what? Why? And I saw this story this morning on THR, and it's interesting because there are certain moments in life where you go, oh, that's pretty cool. And this was one of those moments. So as I'm reading the story, the song I Have Imagined by John Lennon actually playing, um, as one of my like songs on my playlist. And I thought this was a great moment. Anyways, it's about the movie The Little Mermaid. So, of course, this is a film that had a lot of backlash to it, okay? Because of critics saying, "Oh, why is this actress black? Blah blah, African American, blah blah blah." They need to cast somebody. Okay, so I've always said this: there are always going to be naysayers, and she did a phenomenal job. Okay, now I haven't seen the movie per se, but everybody that I've spoken to has said she's done a phenomenal job, and I take their word at its validity. That being said, the movie blew up here, okay, for the first week, and then it went down 66%, but it still made $40 million the second week. Anyways, here is the power of film, and I want to be crystal clear about this. This is the power of film and what people can do. So let me jump into the story. It's from the THR, like I said, and the headline reads, The Little Mermaid becomes a blockbuster in the Philippines amidst racist backlash everywhere in Asia. The Little Mermaid may have bombed in some key markets in Asia, but in the Philippines, it has become a splashy success. Disney's live-action remake of the 1989 animated classic is currently the biggest blockbuster of the year in the Southeast Asian country, having earned $5.8 million and surpassed Hollywood's two biggest global hits of the year, Universal's Super Mario Brothers, which is $2.2 million, and Guardians of the Galaxy, which made $4.7 million. Now, I want to preface it by saying this. $5.8 million doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to equate it in respect to what the currency is over in the Philippines. And, I mean, that's pocket change in the United States. So just keep that in mind. The Philippines obviously is a standout market for us, said John Hu, Disney's senior VP studios in Asia Pacific. It's rare, but it's the biggest territory in Little Mermaid in Southeast Asia by far. Our third highest grossing market in Asia Pacific behind Australia and Japan, and our 11th highest grossing territory globally. Elsewhere, the picture hasn't been so bright. In the vastly larger markets of China and South Korea, The Little Mermaid has majorly underperformed amidst the racist backlash on social media over the cast of Black actress Halle Bailey in the role of Ariel. The film earned just $3.6 million in China and $5.5 million in South Korea, a fraction of what other Disney live-action remakes have grossed in those markets. The Jungle Book in 2016, and of course The Lion King, which was in 2019, were outright blockbusters in China, earning $150 and $120 million respectively. In South Korea, Aladdin took $91 million, and Beauty and the Beast remake just a few years ago brought in $37.5 million. Disney has declined comment on The Little Mermaid's performance in those countries. In the Philippines, not only were such negative elements absent, but Bailey's performance was widely embraced by Filipino filmgoers, according to Hugh. They really loved Halle Bailey's performance as Ariel, and they really liked her as the new princess. The Little Mermaid is a notable standout for the Philippines market this year, said Rand Power of the Artistic Gateway, an exhibition industry consultant specializing in Asia. Powell points out that the film is doing better than any Hollywood fair this year, and it won't reach the heights of any other Disney live-action remakes, released in the Philippines post-COVID. Aladdin earned $11 million there, and The Lion King took 10.2. This might be because the Philippines is still revamping as the theatrical market continues to recover from post-COVID, she said. In the United States, The Little Mermaid has been doing good business despite protests by some regarding Bailey's casting. The movie has earned north of $257 million since its May 24th debut. Box office analysts believe it could top out at $350 million domestic, close to Aladdin's domestic haul of $355.6. Japan is another market where The Little Mermaid is showing some promise. It's earned $10.3 million since its launch on June 9th. And last weekend beat Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Warner Brothers' The Flash. Word of mouth of the Little Mermaid is looking positive, but Japan is a famously slow burn market, so it'll take another week to see how that fares. So it goes on, and it talks about how well this is doing. And I just want to say this, finally. It's about damn time we stop this. And this goes to a couple different things. So this is a billboard that was actually in Japan, okay, that shows Ariel and the Little Mermaid, okay? It's about damn time. And so here's what I'll say to this. We here in the United States of America, and I'm guilty of this too, I'll be the first one to raise my hand. We are so critical of every little thing that every little actor and actress does. If we don't like how their hair is done, we get pissed off. If we don't like the color of their hair, we get upset. If we don't like anything about a certain thing, we get perturbed. Just enjoy the movie for what it is. And I think that in itself says everything you need to know. Because I've always said this time and time and time again. We here in the United States and Hollywood make movies for overseas. We don't make them for ourselves, okay? We make them for overseas because they will be enjoying that film just as much as we do. And to look at it like this is a movie that next week, okay, and it's almost a month of its release, has made $250 million. And when you look at other films, they've blown up even more. So what's wrong? Okay? Look, I understand Disney's a business. I understand what they want to do. But at the same time, at the same time, we have to be more, what's the word I want to use? Lighthearted about things. Okay? This is for a new generation. Anybody who wasn't around in 89 never got to see that. I mean, sure, they can watch it on Disney Plus and everything else, but this is for them. I did a whole podcast a few years back called Remakes, Reboots, and Sequels, the three things that drive Hollywood. And it's all about IP, okay? Because we've seen original IP. All you got to do is look at Elemental. Original IP, and yeah, there's some other things going along with that. Original IP, bombed. Absolutely bombed, okay? We all like IP. We all like the known. We don't like the unknown. All that being said, this is a fantastic story, and I think there's one lesson and moral to be learned here, okay? We in the United States as film critics, and as I said, I'm in that same thing, okay? We need to be less critical. If you want to critique a movie, that's fine. Say, man, they could have done this, one pacing, or that's fine. But don't go full-fledged, she sucks, she can't do anything, blah, blah. You have to, huh? What? How do you, what, huh? Because that's total, those people, they think they have to yell the loudest in order to get their voices heard. And that's not true at all. All they have to do is be respectful. But it just goes to show you what I was saying. Dad says, people need to relax about the look of people. The quality of the movie should determine success, not because of a typical Caucasian character swiped by Haley's great. Yeah, I completely 100% wholeheartedly agree with you. She is great. And this is a good film. Now, did they tweak it here and there? Yes. but that was needed to be done. Okay, but this just, as I said before, this just goes to show you that not everything has to be a critical success. Not everything has to blow up for $1 billion. But to have this be a blockbuster in Asia, in other markets. And the thing about that was that the cool thing about that was the 11th highest grossing market in the world. In the world. So I thought that this story was very relevant because it's one of those things where there's a lesson to be learned here. There is definitely a lesson to be learned here. And we need to just, and as I keep referring to, I'm guilty of this too. And we need to take a step back and we need to really understand things. You want to critique a film, that's fine, but don't disrespect it. Anyways, guys, what do you think about the Little Mermaid blowing up in the Philippines? Is it a surprise to you? Or do you think that this was always going to happen? Have you seen The Little Mermaid? If so, did you take somebody to go see it with? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'm going to get back to everybody.